Hey guys, so I got a comment from KDB and it was on my video titled My Career Goals After Pre-Med. And so I wanted to address the comment because she did have a few questions within her comment. So let me just read it. So the first part that I'm going to address is, she says, I know you have an extensive educational background / certification in many different areas. The first question is, what has been your most favorite program? So honestly, I have enjoyed all of the different training programs. I think the one that was the most difficult for me was my certified personal trainer certification, only because there's a lot involved with that certification test. But I still did awesome with it. And even though it was more difficult, I think because there's so much involved in that certification exam, I still enjoyed the class and the training, but I wouldn't say that that one's my favorite program. I think honestly my favorite program was my phlebotomy program, if that makes sense, even though I haven't really been able to utilize it as much as I would have liked, because I was really, really good at it, and I enjoyed like learning about the different tests and the different like lab values and stuff like that. Even though we didn't really need to know about the lab values, our instructor did include a lot of information that was just interesting, and I really liked that because, like I said, it was a hands-on class. It wasn't an online class. I actually went in person for my phlebotomy training, and I just really excelled at it. I was good. I was one of the first in my class to actually get a stick with blood return, and it was just really, really fun. Even with the fake arms, before we started practicing sticking on each other, even with the fake arms, it was still like, I did good and I really liked it. The second question that she has is, do you have any regrets as far as schooling goes? Yes, I do have regrets. I do regret that when I first started going to nursing school, like even before I started pursuing my RN, I don't know that I've really covered this in detail, but I was going to Kaplan University in Omaha, Nebraska for a while, like back in 2009, I want to say, and I was going for my LPN there. Now, I do have regrets when it comes to that because I was already like in the nursing program. I was doing like nursing clinicals and all that stuff, but I had to drop out of school because of a domestic violence situation, and it was a bad situation. I ended up in a domestic violence shelter, and from that I have regrets because I was so close to finishing. Like I literally only had like 6 or 7 months left before I could sit for my NCLEX for LPN, and I wish that I had sat down with the people at the domestic violence shelter and tried to work it out with them, because they were very helpful, but I wish that I had sat down with them and tried to figure out a solution, because I had to quit, not because I was in the shelter, but because living in the shelter, you know, I didn't have a vehicle and I didn't have the money to go and try to get a bus ticket or stuff like that to get back and forth every day to clinicals. And like with clinicals, my clinicals started at 6 a.m. and the bus line didn't start running until 6:30. So it was just a mess, and I wish I would have sat down and, you know, tried to work something out with the shelter, because they did occasionally provide transportation if it was like to a job or, you know, obviously to school. I might have been able to get their help with that. So I do have regrets as far as that. I also have regrets that I didn't like look into medicine as deeply as I had before I started going to pre-med this year. I regret not looking into it sooner, because I think that if I would have started sooner, I would have realized the passion that I have for medicine. And I definitely, like, I think I'm in a good place education-wise. I do have certifications that can help me get jobs. I just, like, physically, I can't do CNA work anymore. My back is horrible. And with my chronic illnesses, it's hard for me to stay at a CNA job. Like, I can work there for a good 90 days, and then I'm just like, nope. My body just kind of starts shutting down. I end up in the hospital, and it just really, it sucks. I also want to address this. She said, these are great goals. There definitely seems to be a shortage of mental health professionals, especially in more rural areas. And like where I live right now is a very rural area. It's just, you know, I feel horrible. Like, even when I was looking for a therapist, talking about like why I wanted to possibly do psychiatry or psychology, when I was even looking for a therapist, like, my therapist is an hour away from where I live, and it's not the closest. There is a therapist in the town that I live in that I could see, but I will never go to her. It's a therapist that I went to when I was in high school, and she lost my trust because she went back and told my mother everything that I told her, even after she promised me that she wouldn't say certain things. But that's another story for another day. But I do feel like, you know, there's a horrible need for mental health professionals, and I'm hoping that maybe, since I plan to do mental health, that there's some sort of like scholarship program or something to help me get through medical school so I can do the psychiatry, because it's going to be expensive. I've already taken out student loans, and it's expensive. And so the rest of her comment was, I love hearing about your journey through college and trying to figure out what you really want to do. It's not easy, especially with college being so expensive. I'm also an adult college student trying to figure it all out, so hearing about someone else's journey through higher education is interesting to me. Definitely love your videos talking about your educational experiences. Best wishes. And I just want to say, before I say anything else, thank you so much for your comments, because Katie B has commented on multiple videos, and I have made videos addressing her comments in the past. However, for whatever reason, I just always say, well, someone commented, instead of saying their name. And I really should say you guys' names, because at least you know that I'm responding to your comment. But yes, I do have those regrets. And like I said, my favorite program would be phlebotomy. Even though I liked my medical assisting program, I feel like with it being online, it was a little more difficult. I think I would have liked it more in person for medical assistant, because I think I would have been able to be more hands-on and practicing the skills hands-on more than what we were able to do with it being an online class. So I hope that this answers your questions. If you have any other questions, or if anybody has any other questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will address your questions in a future video. It may not be posted right away, so please be patient, because I do have at least a couple weeks of videos filmed in advance at this point, just so then, you know, if there's a day where I'm not feeling good, or if I have work or I'm busy with school, then I have something that I can still post for you guys. But with that being said, that's enough for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if there's anything else you want me to talk about in a future video, and I will definitely do that. I do have a list of stuff that you guys have asked me to do that I haven't had a chance to film yet. And yeah, I will get to your comments as I am able to. It's kind of hard with being in pre-med and having all this homework, and it's kind of rough, but I will do my best. With that being said, I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will talk to you guys next time.